Hey, good morning. I hope everyone is having a great day today. I was up early driving this morning about, I don't know, probably about 6 o'clock. I was out on the road and I had somebody crowding in behind me. And I started to get a little bit irritated, then took a deep breath and started thinking about one of the most common conversations that we have in our house is when we're driving somewhere. And that is typically because as we're driving and someone cuts me off or someone does whatever, then I begin to get irritated. I begin to get agitated, and Tammy's over in the passenger seat saying, just relax, just relax, just relax. They don't even know you're angry. And I was thinking, that is so true. In most things in life, I'm very careful about maintaining control and keeping it in perspective. But for some reason, when I get in the car, the perspective changes, and I begin to uh, take things personal when I shouldn't take things personal. And that got me thinking, the way thoughts just kind of cascade and go together. And I got to thinking about, the power aspect of it. And in those moments, for whatever reason, I give the other people power over me. And in life, a lot of times, we all do the same thing, not just when we're in a car, but when we're in a meeting, when we're in a relationship, or we're in the middle of a conversation, and someone is able to um, twist us or get us in a bind, or get us to get agitated and angry, and then we lose control of our mouths, and we lose control of our thoughts, and our emotions go out of hand, and then next thing you know it's a fight while this person's sitting over there and they're gleefully just celebrating because they've manipulated you into doing what it is that they wanted to be done, which is get you away from your control, to get you away from being um, in possession of yourself. And I sit in a lot of meetings with corporate leaders and business leaders at large, whether it's in the for-profit industry, when I was in the government, and when I was in churches, right? And people are the same everywhere, right? It is about control, and it is about wanting to direct the narrative or the initiative, or to establish the power, get a power dynamic set up. And the reality is, the most powerful person in any situation is the one that can control themselves. And no matter what someone does or what someone says or how they do it, you get to control how you respond to that. Now, if you're in pure reaction mode, right, because of whatever reason, but if you're in pure reaction mode, then they're in control of you, because they're able then to manipulate your emotions, manipulate your thoughts, manipulate your responses or your reactions in a way that gets them to where they want to go. And I've seen leaders over the years that really love doing the whole divide and conquer approach, right? They get a team that's working together fairly well, and mostly united, and for whatever reason, and normally it's because of just a need within themselves to be the one who directs the narrative, or the one who has control of everything, that they want to stir division among that team, right? And part of my mind says they do it because they really just want to inject energy into it, and they want to use that energy then to drive people. But a lot of it's because people are broken at their heart, right? And you hear me say this over and over again. We as a species, we as a creation, we are broken from what we're supposed to be. We've all suffered loss. We've all suffered broken relationships. We've suffered from unfulfilled expectations and dreams and visions and hopes, and then we get this sense of inferiority within us, and suddenly we want to be in control, and we want the power. And then some people get into a position that brokenness then guides them, and that brokenness then corrects them, and they can't ever get out of that need for constant affirmation that I'm the boss, I'm in control, I'm in charge. And it's not just in work, right? It's everywhere. We don't call certain people Karens for no reason, right? Or I don't even know what they call the male version, Kens or something like that. it's because they need to be part of something. They're right. They're drawn to that agitation. They're drawn to that turmoil. They're drawn to that chaos. And um, when you allow that, then that emotional stimulation, right, to direct and guide you and draw you to the crazy, then that crazy then has control over you, and you're not really in control, which means you have no power and you have no authority within your own life, because they're able to get you to do whatever it is they want you to do. Um, so whether it's personal life or whether it's work or whatever, right, my counsel and my caution to myself, matter of fact, if I go back through the notes from my meetings, and I'm reading back through them throughout the meeting, especially the last place I was, there's a lot of that. I would read my notes, and my note would say, be going along talking about XYZ, breathe, XYZ, right, ABC, don't take it personal, stay calm, right, because there was an environment that was about that division, that was about the push and about the drive and about trying to build something by tearing something down, which there's element to that, right? That you do have to, we talked before about, you have to destroy the old to get the new, right? One has to die for the new one to come into place. But there's underlying spirit or underlying motivation a lot of times that directs and guides us to do certain things. And when we're broke, when we have that orphan spirit, when we are seeking to affirm who we are by the accolades or the acknowledgement of the people around us, that we're the boss or we're in charge or we're in control, then it creates a very unhealthy and a very negative dynamic. And the only way we retain that power, the only way we pull that control back to ourselves, is by understanding there's only one person, one thing in this world that we can control, and that's us. There's only one person we can change, and that's us, right? So when this is going, when all of this is happening, and I don't care who it is, whether it's your spouse, your kids, your grandchildren, your dog, your boss, whatever, and they're pushing and they're trying, they're agitating, pause. And you've heard me say it many times, breathe. Pause, breathe. You're in control. This is about you. A lot of times you find that thing in your rhythm, right? Because we all have this inner song within us that sets the rhythm and the pace of who we are. And you find that, and you settle back into that. And I don't care what it is, right? It could be something super silly, or something that's more profound, or whatever it may be. But I tend to go into these mental worship songs, right? Because there's a rhythm and there's a flow to them, and I can get into that rhythm and the flow. Back when I used to run, right, I would get and find that rhythm for my breathing and for my steps and the way they would all fit together. Well, it's the same way. Find that rhythm, breathe. You're in control. Don't react. Wait. Let everybody around you lose their heads, and then you respond. Again, the most powerful person is the one that maintains control of themselves. The most powerful person is the one that keeps their head when everyone around them is losing theirs. With that said, it's okay to set boundaries, right? If you have someone constantly want to do that, you can set the boundaries, and you can determine what is healthy and what's good for you and what is not. Now, granted, there's times, like if it's your boss and you have no choice but to have that job because it's survival, then your boundary may be, I have to wait while I find another job. But what you can't do is stay in that toxic environment. And I'm not encouraging anybody to jump and run anywhere. I'm just saying, if you cannot maintain your power within yourself and your control within yourself and your peace and your sanity, and it's toxic, then set the boundaries. Establish boundaries. How you pull away, how you breathe, how you take that moment, how you reset yourself back to zero, right? And then, for all means, look for something healthy. Find something healthy. Find a healthy relationship. Find that that healthy conversation that you can have. Sometimes the people don't know they're doing what they're doing to you, right? So have the conversation. It's not a jump and run, but it's have that conversation. And if the response is, hey, suck it up, buttercup, then in that moment you have to make a decision what you're going to do. But what you can't do is allow the circumstances and the people to continue to drive their brokenness and their chaos and their hurt and their turmoil into you. Because if you do, then you've lost everything that you are. You've lost everyone you are, or everything that you've been created to be, and you've lost that opportunity to own your tomorrow, to own your sanity, your peace of mind, your future, your destination, and you truly allow yourself to be set up to be controlled and to be manipulated and to be dominated, and that's not who you are, because you'll never find the peace there. Remember, there's nothing healthy about being drawn to the drama. There's nothing healthy about chaos. It's the exact opposite of who we are. So it's okay to seek the peace. For me, I love seeking the peacemaker, the one who brought the ultimate peace. The one who said that in this world, you're going to have trials, you're going to have trouble, you're going to have tribulations, you're going to have turmoil, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. So for me, I find my peace in his presence. My encouragement to you is to find your peace. Father, I thank you. I thank you for your love, and I thank you for your grace. I thank you for your joy. I thank you for leading us and guiding us and opening our eyes and our minds and our hearts and our understanding, Lord. Help us to see the path and the plan you have for us. Help us to understand and know the purpose for which we've been called. And Lord, let your glory be revealed in our every conversation, internal and external. And above all, Lord, in the midst of the storms, help us just to pause and breathe. And let's do it all for your glory. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. You know what? I hope every one of you have a great day. I hope today that you just remember, breathe. Breathe. The power is yours, and someone else only takes it if you allow them to take it. Have a great day.